exchanger. In the last lecture, we have discussed about LMTD or log mean temperature difference. This is one of the most important design perspective for designing the heat exchanger. When we design the heat exchanger, we need to consider various points. Generally, when we solve heat exchanger problems, or generally when we design heat exchanger, rather we can write generally so let me increase it. Generally we during designing, or we can write down for the designing of heat exchanger, we basically encounter two types of problem. So when we go for designing of the heat exchanger, we basically encounter with two types of problem. The first one is you can see it from the notes also. Let me show it. The first one is that the two value mH, that is mass flow rate of the hot fluid, and the inlet and outlet temperature of the hot fluid, and then mass flow rate of the cold fluid, and then inlet and outlet temperature of the cold fluid, and overall heat transfer coefficient is given. Okay, and we need to determine area of the heat exchanger. This is one type of problem. So if these conditions are given, that is mass flow rate of the hot fluid, then THI and THE, that is inlet temperature and outlet temperature of the hot fluid, and then mass flow rate of cold fluid, then inlet and outlet temperature of the cold fluid, and then overall heat transfer coefficient. If these values are given, we can find out A, and we need to determine LMTD for that. Okay, but if we have a case 2, if we have a condition like case 2 where the value of area is given and only the input condition is inlet condition is given, inlet condition of THI and inlet condition of TCI, that means inlet condition of hot fluid and inlet condition of cold fluid is given, and other mass flow rate and specific heat capacity for both the fluids are given. In that case, how to determine the outlet temperature? So if we have a such kind of condition, this case 2, so on the basis of LMTD, we cannot solve that problem. So for this kind of problem, we need one particular term, introduction of one particular term or existence of one particular term, that is effectiveness of heat exchanger. Okay, effectiveness of heat exchanger. So that's why for this second case where inlet temperature in a particular numerical problem of heat exchanger in GATE also, you can see if the inlet condition is given for both the fluid but outlet condition is not given for both the fluid, and then mass flow rate and specific heat capacity is given, and area is given. So in that case, if we need to determine the outside temperature, so effectiveness is the best option. So we need to find out effectiveness of the heat exchanger, or we need to calculate effectiveness of the heat exchanger, and after that we can easily calculate the outside temperature. Okay, so we need to calculate alternate method is effectiveness NTU method helps us to solve this problem. Okay, so by using effectiveness of heat exchanger. Okay, so the first condition we have seen, that mH, then CPH, then MC, then CPC, PHI, PCI, okay, then CCE, PHE, and U is given. So in this case, if we need to solve, if we need to find out A, So we can easily implement, or we can easily apply, LMTD approach. This is very simple. We have discussed in the previous lecture. But if we have a case 2, that means only area is given values are given, area is given, then mass flow rate of hot fluid, then cold fluid, okay, then CPH, that is specific heat of hot fluid, then specific heat of cold fluid, and then PHI and PCI is given. Okay, and we need to determine MHO and MCO, or rather we can see E. Okay, E, exit, because we have used E term throughout the previous lecture also. So we'll use E. E stands for exit. Okay, we need to determine these terms. For this case, LMTD approach cannot be applied. So due to this reason, we can, so for the condition like, let me write out in different color. For the condition like case 2, we need to implement or apply effectiveness formula of heat exchangers. Okay, so when you are designing a system, obviously we need to know what are the different perspectives. The first one, when all these conditions are given, LMTD approach is the suitable approach for solving or to find out the area of the heat exchanger, because it is also very, very important. What is the exchanging area? What type of area? How much area is there for conducting the particular heat transfer? Okay, that also need to be determined, and that is very, very important. So LMTD approach is very, very applicable for that. But if we have a condition like this, like case 2, so in that case LMTD approach cannot be applied. Maybe you can apply some trial and error approach on the basis of LMTD, but it will be difficult. Okay, so for this case, effectiveness should be used. So now what is effectiveness of heat exchanger? So effectiveness of heat exchanger can be written as, one second, effectiveness of heat exchanger can be written as 2 ways. First of all, we'll write down the first way, the first possible way to write. So effectiveness of heat exchanger is equal to rate of heat transfer in heat exchanger, rate of heat transfer in heat exchanger divided by maximum possible heat transfer rate. Maximum possible heat transfer rate. So this is the initial way. Okay, there are two approaches. We can find out the effectiveness of heat exchanger on the basis of NTO, number of transfer units, and capacity ratio. This is the second approach that we will show. But the initial approach is this one, that effectiveness of heat exchanger can be calculated on the basis of this equation. That it is equal to rate of heat transfer in heat exchanger divided by maximum possible heat transfer. So if we write down the expression for this, see, rate of heat transfer in heat exchanger. So in case of heat exchanger, what are the different types of heat transfer? We can write down different types of, in different color I'm writing, different types of heat transfer, in heat exchanger. The first one is heat given by hot fluid, that we know. hot fluid is giving heat to the cold fluid, and the second one is heat gained by cold fluid, heat gained by cold fluid. And under ideal condition, we have already discussed these two heat are equal. Okay, so this expression we can write down as mHCpH into Cph into Thi minus The, that we know. And for the heat gain by cold fluid will be Mc into Cpc into Tce minus Tci. Why we have written Tce earlier? Because in case of cold fluid, the initial temperature is low. As it gains the heat from the hot fluid, its temperature increases. That's why the temperature of the cold fluid exit fluid temperature of the cold fluid exit will be higher as compared to the temperature of cold fluid input or inlet. Okay, so these two expression we know. So under ideal condition, these two expression will be equal. Okay, so then for this rate of heat transfer in heat exchanger, for this one we can write either of this. We can write either this expression, heat given by hot fluid, or heat gained by cold fluid. Okay, so but for this one, so we can write down here rate of heat transfer, rate of heat transfer, rate of heat transfer, rate of heat transfer in heat exchanger can be written either this one, or this one. Okay, and the second one, that is maximum possible heat transfer. The maximum possible heat transfer you can see maximum possible heat transfer, the second one, write down in different color. Maximum possible heat transfer can be written as by this expression M into Cp, rather we can write down mCp within bracket S. Okay, S mCps. Yes, S stands for small. One second. One second. So this is subscript. Yeah, now it's fine. I was looking for it. So this Control Z into Thi minus Tci. this we can write down like this. Okay, this is actually subscript. Okay, MCPS. So this is the maximum possible heat transfer we can write down with the help of this expression. Okay, so why this is maximum possible heat transfer? You can see here for this particular expression THI and TCI. Suppose if we see the, suppose for parallel flow we are watching the, observing the temperature profile. So this is this kind of profile we are going to get. So this is THI, right? This is THI, this is THI, and then this is THE, THE, and this we are going to get TCI, TCI, and this is TCE. Okay, so the maximum temperature difference we can get here only. Okay, between the THI and TCI. So for the maximum possible heat transfer, the temperature difference that is responsible, it will be THI minus TCI. That's why I have written here THI minus TCI, and this will be equal to MCPS. Okay, M into Cp, smallest as will be suffix. Okay. Okay, so S will be like this. We can write here M CP like this. So that means between the you have two MCP, right? One is MH and CPH, MH and CPH, that is mass flow rate of hot fluid and specific heat of cold fluid, specific heat of hot fluid. Then we have mass flow rate of cold fluid and then specific heat of cold fluid again. Okay, cold fluid. So that means between these two, so if you multiply this one, suppose for the hot fluid you have multiplied these two terms, and then for the cold fluid also you have multiplied these two terms. So among these two, the smallest one will be utilized here, MCPS. So okay, so the product of mass flow rate and specific heat, the product of mass flow rate and specific heat, okay, this is also known as capacity rate. Okay, so the capacity, smallest capacity rate, rather we can say here, this is smallest capacity rate. So the product of mass flow rate and CP is CP, that is mass flow rate and specific heat. If you take the product for both the hot fluid and cold fluid, we'll observe in which case we have smallest capacity rate, that is smallest value of MCP multiplication. Okay, so between these two you will observe in which case we have the smallest value, and that one we will select that that is a smallest value. Okay, so that will be denoted as MCPS. So this MCPS into TCI minus THI minus TCI, because we are going for maximum possible heat transfer. That's why the maximum possible heat transfer can be possible for this largest temperature. So throughout the profile, the largest temperature difference is possible between these only. Okay, for both the cases, counterflow and parallel flow. So the equation can be the expression for this equation can be written like this. So the final expression, if you write down, so the final expression we write down. So the final expression of effectiveness will be what? It will be, once we can write down like this, MH into CPH into THI minus TCI divided by MCPS into THI into THI minus TCI. You can write it like this. So this is the effectiveness. The effectiveness we can write down like this. And secondly, we can also write, because we have seen that the rate of heat transfer and heat exchanger, either it can be this or this. So this can be also written as, the expression can be also written as MC into CPC into, here it will be, THE. Okay, here it will be THE. I have written wrong. THE. Okay, if you see this expression THM and THE, so here it will be, how much? Again we can write PCE minus PCI. Okay, a second. PCE, do it fast bracket, PCE minus PCI divided by MCPS into PHI minus PCI. So for the effectiveness, we can either use the first expression, that is on the basis of hot fluid, or we can use the second expression. Both are valid. Okay, so this is the one way of finding out effectiveness of heat exchanger. Okay, there is another way in terms of NTU and NTU and C. NTU stands for number of transfer units and C stands for capacity rate ratio. Okay, in terms of that also we will observe. But before that, let me find out this condition for this particular condition. Let me find out for different flows, different condition. Okay, so now condition, some of the condition we are going to discuss for this. Let me erase this one. Okay, so the condition, some of the conditions we are going to discuss. You can see here also some of the conditions. See, condition is if MHCPH is less than MCCPC. Okay, if you have a condition like this, if MHCPH is less than MCCPC, in that case MHCPH will be MCCPC. Yes, okay, because we have seen the product of these two, the mass flow, the product of mass flow rate and specific heat for the hot fluid and the cold fluid, we will check in which case we have smallest value. That smallest value, on the basis of that smallest value, we will select MCPS. Okay, here MHCPH is smallest as compared to MCCPC. That's why MHCPH will be equal to MCPS. So if the condition is like this, what will happen? If we put it in this equation, so this equation you can see, let me write out here. So this equation, if you write down that suppose MHCPH is the smallest condition, so condition 1, let me write down here, condition 1. What is the condition? Condition is if MHCPH, okay, MH into CPH is less than MC into CPC. If the condition is like this, see, as the product of MHCPH is less than this one, so MHCPH, write down multiplication here, MHCPH will be equal to MCPS. It will be equal to S. Okay, so in that case, if MCP equal to MHCPH, if you put in this formula, if you put in this expression, then what will happen? The effectiveness we can write down. Effectiveness will be equal to MH into CPH into PHI minus THE, okay, divided by an MCPH. What? MCPH is equal to MHCPH. So we can write down instead of this MHCPH into PHI minus PCI. So if we observe this, we can see that this term and this term will be cancelled out, and this term and this term will be cancelled out. So ultimately, what expression we will have? So we will have effectiveness. We write down as E. Effectiveness will be equal to PHI minus PHI minus PHE divided by PHI minus PCI. Okay, so if your condition is like this, in that case your equation will be like this. Okay, so that we have seen. And secondly, if your condition is this one, that MCCPC is the smallest one, in that case MCPS will be this one, MCCPC will be equal to this one. So similarly, we'll put the value here. Similarly, we'll put the value in this expression, in this one, the second one, and we can obtain this final expression, that the effectiveness will be this one. This is for second case. And one of the important note is that two definitions are equivalent if MHCPH equal to MCCPC. Okay, if both of them are equal, then two definitions are equivalent. They are equal. Okay, if they are equal, all of these are equal. Okay, these two definitions are equal if they are equal, and the effectiveness value always varies. And the effectiveness values always varies in between 0 to 1. It should not be beyond this. Between the scale of 0 to 1, the effectiveness value always ranges. It is a general knowledge for every machine. If you find out effectiveness, the value always varies in between 0 to 1. If you take the fraction in terms of percentage, it will be in between 0 to 100%. Okay, so now we'll see the second way of finding out effectiveness. So the effectiveness can be found out by another way. So we are writing down what are the ways. So what are the ways? Let me erase it. Okay. So the second way to find out another way to find out effectiveness of heat exchanger. Okay, so for this, and this is another way. So for this, what we need? We need two things. One is C value. We need C value and P value. First of all, we need these two things. So what is C? C is equal to. I'm writing down. You try to understand. C will be equal to control this and this. Okay, so if you C value will be equal to MCPS and MCPB. Okay, suppose between the hot fluid and cold fluid, suppose for both the fluid you have considered that for hot fluid you have MH and CPH. Okay, MH and CPH you have, and you have calculated the value. The product of MH CPH you have calculated, and then you have calculated the product of MC and CPC. MC and CPC, and you have observed that MHCP is smallest one. Okay, MH, the product of this one is smallest as compared to this one. So So what will happen? So MCPS will be equal to this one, and MCPB will be equal to this one. Okay, so and you can put here. So that means MCPB equal to MCPS equal to the smallest value of capacity ratio in between hot fluid and cold fluid, and MCB equal to the biggest value or the largest value of capacity ratio in between cold fluid and hot fluid. Okay, this example I have given you. And second, we need to find out NTU. NTU means this C stands for capacity rate ratio. So C stands for capacity rate ratio. Okay, so next we need to find out NTU. NTU stands for number of transfer units. Transfer units. So it will be U into A. U stands for overall heat transfer coefficient divided by MCPS. Okay, so the number of transfer unit will be UA, that is the multiplication of overall heat transfer coefficient into area divided by MCPS, that the smallest capacity rate, the smallest value of the capacity rate. Okay, so first of all we will find out the value. Okay, after finding out the value we can find out the effectiveness. So what are the different formulas? The first one is for parallel flow. If you have a parallel flow arrangement, in that case the effectiveness can be found out with the help of this equation. If you have a parallel flow arrangement, in that case you can determine with the help of this E stands for effectiveness equal to 1 minus exponential into within third bracket minus 1 plus C into NTU divided by 1 plus C. C stands for capacity rate ratio and NTU stands for number of transfer units. And if you have a case like counter flow, in that case we can determine with the help of this equation. If you have a counter flow, write down here. If you have a counter flow, in that case we can determine on the basis of this 1 minus exponential minus 1 minus C NTU divided by 1 minus C exponential minus 1 minus C into NTU. So these expression are used in are in terms of NTU and C. This is for parallel flow. This is for if the fluid are flowing in the same direction. This is for parallel flow, and this is for counter flow. Both are flowing in opposite direction. Okay, so if you have a counter flow, the particular expression is be used, and if you have a parallel flow, this particular expression can be used. So hence we can conclude that effectiveness of heat exchanger can be found out. There are two cases. One is we can find out on the basis of these expressions, and we can also find out on the basis of in terms of C, that is capacity rate ratio and number of transfer units. These are the two ways to find out effectiveness of heat exchanger. So on the basis of this, we'll solve one numerical. Let me erase this one. So write down the numerical. Okay, so we'll write down the numerical. In a counterflow heat exchanger, in a counterflow heat exchanger, one second. Okay, so in a counterflow heat exchanger, water is being filled by sodium chloride, by sodium chloride brine. This is the previous problem that we have solved. We'll just modify that problem for solving this type of issue. If the rate of flow of the brine to write down like this, the rate of flow of the brine and water is 1.8 kg per second and 1.05 kg per second. Okay, the water, the inlet temperature, or you can say the inlet temperature of water and brine is 32 degrees Celsius, 32 degree C, and minus 8 degree C. Okay. The overall heat transfer coefficient, the overall heat transfer is 110 watt per meter square Kelvin or degree Celsius. Okay. And then and area of the heat exchanger is 53.74 meter square. Find out outlet temperature, outlet or exit temperature of water and brine. So let me change it. So we need to find out this. So in this problem, you can see the inlet temperature is given, the area is given, the mass flow rate, the specific heat capacity is given. Okay, the specific capacity is not given. We know it already. The specific heat capacity is 3.38 for brine and 4.18. It is given. So we need to calculate the outside or exit temperature. So this is the condition 2, as we have discussed. This is the condition 2. So for this we need to calculate effectiveness. Okay, for this we need to calculate effectiveness. So so what are the other things, other given data? That is CPH, we can write down. CPH is given. So water is the hot fluid here. So CPH is 4.18. Rather, we can write down specific heat of water equal to 4.18 kilojoule per kg degree C, and specific heat of brine is equal to 3.38 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. We can write down, no issue, because the temperature difference for whatever unit you use, the difference will be always same. So we can use Kelvin. Okay, this is the value given. So first of all, what is our condition? So let me draw the diagram first. So what will be the condition? This is counter flow. Okay, so if this is counter flow, our condition will be like this. They are flowing in opposite direction. Okay, so this is the condition we have. Hot fluid is flowing like this, and this is the flow of cold fluid. Okay, so let me write down. Here it will be THI, and here it will be THE. Okay, and then here it will be TCI and TCE. Okay, so then we have counter flow. So what is given? First of all, given values we will write down. So given value is, we know already, the THI and TC value, THI and TCI value is already given. This value is here, it is 32 degrees Celsius, degree C. Okay, and here it is minus 8 degrees Celsius, minus 8 degrees C. Degree C. Okay, so this is given. We need to determine these values. We need to determine this one we need to determine, and these value also we need to determine, and other things are given. So that's why we are going to follow the second condition, that means we will find out the effectiveness of heat exchanger. So for this, this is counter flow. So for the counter flow general expression, we'll write down. What is the general expression? What is the general expression? 1 minus exponential minus 1 minus C NTU divided by 1 minus C into exponential minus 1 minus C NTU. Okay, so this is for counter flow. So these we know, this expression we know, this is for counter flow. This is for counter flow. So first of all, we need to determine C value. First of all, we need to determine C value. So C value, how can we determine? We know that C equal to MH into CPH, sorry, MCP S divided by MCP B, that we know. And for NTU, NTU equal to U into A divided by MCPS. CPS. That we know. Okay. So first of all, you need to determine the value of MCP and MCPB, MCPC, MCPS, and MCPB. So we'll calculate it. So MH, here hot fluid is water and brine is the cold fluid. MH into CPH will determine. So MH is 1.8 into 3.38. Sorry, 1.05. For the water it is 1.05, the mass flow rate. Okay, the hot fluid is water here. 0.5 into 4.18. We will get 6.084. Okay, we'll write down in kilowatt per Kelvin. Kilowatt per Kelvin. Or you can write out in degree Celsius also, because here we have the unit that we have used, it is in Kelvin, so you can write down in degree Celsius also. Okay, so let me write down in degree Celsius. Degree Celsius. One second. Write down in Kelvin, no issue. The difference will be same for both the cases. And for the second one, that is MC into CPC will be equal to 1.8 into 3.38. It is equal to 6.084 kilowatt per Kelvin. So between these two values, sorry, this will be 4.389. This will be actually 4.389. 4.389 kilowatt per. Okay, so between these two values, you can see MH CPH is smaller. We know that. We can see here MH CPH is smaller than MC CPC. Okay, that is basically smaller. So what we can write? We can write that MCPS equal to the smallest value, that is MHCPH value, that is 4.389. That we can write down 4.389 kilowatt per Kelvin. And then MCPB we can write down, this one is 6.084 kilowatt per Kelvin. So that you know. So we'll write down this value. We'll put down the value here. This will be small v actually. This will be small v. So we'll put down the value here. If we put down the value from here, the value of C we can obtain. The value of C we can obtain as the value of C you can obtain as 0.72. And if we put down the value here, U value is already given 110 in this equation. NTU U value is given 110, and then area is given again. Area is given 53.74 square, and then the smallest value if we put here, we can get the value of NTU also. It will be how much? 1.35. So after obtaining this value of C, we can put this value in this equation. After putting the value in this equation, the effectiveness value that we can obtain, it is effectiveness after putting in this expression, the value of C, that capacity rate ratio and number of transfer units, the value that we can obtain, that is 0.623. So once we have this effectiveness value, so how we can utilize this one? So we know that effectiveness is equal to mH into CPH into THI minus THE divided by MCPS into THI minus TCI. That we know. Okay, for the, if we are considering the heat given by hot fluid one, so from this, in this expression, see the efficiency value 0.623 we can put here. Okay, then mH value we have, CPH value we have, THI value we can put, then MCPS, the smallest value we have already calculated here, this one 4.389, this will be not comma, this will be 4.389, and then THI we have, TCI we have. So from this expression we can get the value of this one. So this value we can determine. The value of THE we can determine. Okay, similarly for the cold fluid, we know that in terms of cold fluid, that E equal to MC into CPC into TCE minus TCI divided by MCPS into THI minus TCI. We know this expression. So in this expression, again, similarly, we have the efficiency value, right? If we will put the efficiency value, MC value we know, CPC value we know, TCI we know. Okay, this smallest value we know, this one we know, and this one we know. So from this we can find out the value of this one. Okay, so we can find out, ultimately we can find out the value of TCE and THE. So in this way, if you have a condition where the inlet temperature of both the fluid is given, overall heat transfer coefficient, area is given, then mass flow rate and specific heat capacity is given, in that case we need to, if we need to find out the outlet temperature or exit temperature, we need to implement the effectiveness formula of heat exchanger. So these are the two important aspects of design of heat exchanger. The first one is on the basis of LMTD, you have MHCPH, MCCPC, and then inlet and outlet temperature for both the fluid, and you have overall heat transfer coefficient, that is U, and you need to determine the area of heat exchanger. So LMTD method can be used. Okay, and second case is this particular problem. So you have inlet temperature for both the fluid, you have area, you have overall heat transfer coefficient, you have specific heat capacity and mass flow rate for both the fluid, and you need to determine the outlet temperature or exit temperature for both the fluid. So the effectiveness approach should be applied. So these are the two approaches. In GATE also questions come from these topics. These are the very two numerical I have solved for the LMTD, and this is for this one. So first of all, whenever this type of questions are given, we need to check the particular diagram for the flow, whether it is a parallel flow or counter flow, the particular flow diagram that you need to plot initially. After that, what are the given values, what type of mathematical expression are going to be used that we need to write down, then we need to solve it out. So with this, I'm ending up this particular heat exchanger chapter. I hope you have liked it. Thank you, everyone.